Megan, Sheriff Honey recently collaborated with local and state fire as well as law enforcement to develop a new evacuation plan in reference to the Orville Dam spillway. And you can see behind me, we're going to give you a closer look of the main spillway. You can see the damage from the erosion right there on that spillway, and crews have been here all morning long and overnight working here at the dam. They're currently moving that debris out of the diversion pool that sits right below the spillway. And later on this morning, Butte County Sheriff Corey Honey plans to hold a press conference to talk about future evacuation plans. In the future, if Butte County were to experience an evacuation order like the one we did on February 12th, the sheriff says we need to be a little better prepared. That's why a multi-jurisdictional plan was developed to safely evacuate the residents of southern portions of Butte County. The evacuation plan divides the southern portions of the county into 11 different zones with evacuation routes, public assembly areas, as well as closest evacuation centers, something Sheriff Honey says will make for a less chaotic event in the future.
So then the bullfighters come in, and you'll see these guys, they're dressed in baggy clothes and whatnot, and they have baggy clothes and bandanas flying and stuff because the bulls are actually colorblind.
Something I did not know, learning that this morning.
So they go after the bandanas, they go after movement stuff, and these guys that are here that are the best in the world. Dusty Tuckness is like many-time bullfighter of the year. And then my job is actually, this is an island of safety for the cowboys. This is an aluminum barrel, and I'm out toward the middle of the arena. If these guys get bucked off toward the middle of the arena, they can run toward me. And I'll get the attention of the bull and then allow the bull to hit the barrel and let them cowboys maybe have the extra second and a half to make a run for the fence, because it might make the difference of whether or not they ride tomorrow.
One question I have for you, 1,400 to 1,800 pounds coming at you when you're inside of this. What does that feel like? Oh,
goodness. You know, have you ever been at a stoplight and you see the truck coming behind you and you know he's not going to stop? You know you're fixing to get hit? That's exactly what it's like. You can see it in the rearview mirror, so you kind of brace yourself, because if you don't brace yourself, it's whiplash for sure. And this is something I'm going to try now? Absolutely. I'm going to get out and you're going to get in it. Oh, geez. Now, I don't want you coming at me like a bull, though, because I'm going to need it to be a little softer. All right, we'll be a little easier on you here. One foot in, the other one up. There you go. All right. All right. So we're going to do it just kind of like a bull would hit you. We're going to be a little easier, though. All right. I'm going in. Now, this is nothing compared to getting hit by a bull, but I'm going to stay in here, roll around for a little bit. And
oh, look how big and cute you are. For Mom Kim, seeing this one snapshot starts a 5-year reel of memories. Now to then. Adam was born just short of 4 months early because of an infection, a terrifying surprise. While he was in intensive care, doctors kept his twin inside to get stronger, hoping to save him.
Usually the first twin doesn't survive. When they told us that we'd deliver one and keep the other one in, we both kind of looked at each other and said, "You can do that?"
63 days later, Jason arrived.
Hi, sweetie. Good morning.
We got to know them well over the next years and watched as they grew beyond every obstacle. The boys surprised their doctors, sometimes even themselves. Always their parents.
I couldn't even see past a certain age. You know, I just took one day at a time and just hoped for the best, and now they're in kindergarten, so it's blown my expectations.
A billboard for the hospital where they spent such a long time. Then,
and I think it's so cool, and they're just like,
They want yogurt, frozen yogurt.
It's off to the next adventure. Cheryl Preheim, 9 News.
So much the human body can endure, so much the human spirit can withstand. The fact that 31-year-old Lydia Tillman is even able to do yoga is a testament to the strength of her body and spirit.
I go to therapy every day.
Ever since it happened, the stroke Lydia suffered has forced her to take life even slower than day by day.
Moment by moment.
All it took was one moment on July 5th. Travis Forbes severely beat and raped Lydia inside her Fort Collins apartment. He poured bleach on her and then started her apartment on fire to get rid of the evidence. But Forbes couldn't break Lydia's body and spirit. She was able to escape by jumping from a second-story window, suffering a stroke and nerve damage. 6 months later, she says, she refused to let anger take over.
My anger doesn't help anything.
As part of a fundraiser in Fort Collins today, yoga classes were held with all proceeds going to Lydia's medical expenses. Lydia says the financial and moral support she's received has helped her come a long way.
I couldn't speak one word. Look at me now.
Lydia shared with us what others can take away from her inner and outer strength.
Love and peace always.
Are you excited for the assembly? Yeah! Football players from Butte College and Las Plumas High School brought the fun and a few smiles to multiple assemblies in Orrville.
Back in the day, we remember these assemblies, and I remember being that kid like, pick me, pick me, pick me.
The team stopped by Stream Charter School, Wyandotte Academy, and Biggs Elementary School to play a few games and interact with students who recently went through a traumatic event.
It made me feel good to be feel important.
It lets them know that they were recognized for all the things that they had to deal with and the great attitude that they had for it.
Schools throughout Butte County were forced to close following the immediate evacuation order placed on February 12th regarding the Orrville Dam spillway. Thousands of students and families uncertain as they left their homes.
I was so proud of the way my students handled that. Some of them had to go to other evacuation shelters, and I was able to visit some of them over in Chico, and they all had great spirits. And so I think this is a way of Tim and the team saying a big thank you to them.
Many people throughout the state reached out to offer their help. The San Francisco 49ers were the first organization to offer words of encouragement to the students affected.
They're leading by example. I think that's a good thing that they did. And it trickles down. It's like a domino effect. Now we want to do it. Now high schools are doing it. It's like everyone just wants to, help this community, this area get back on their feet.
Butte County Superintendent of Schools Tim Taylor presented personal letters and official NFL footballs from the 49ers at the assembly. Something he will do at all evacuated schools throughout the month. The big question of the day was, what were the kids more excited about, the football or the football players?
I think they were more excited to see us personally because they can actually interact with us.
That debate remains up in the air. Regardless, the goal of the assemblies were to praise students for their strength and resilience during the emergency situation. In Orrville, I'm Mackenzie Nelson, Action News Now. I'm here just outside of Stockton Arena as the second-seeded Oregon State Beavers and the third-seeded Florida State Seminoles go head-to-head tomorrow for a trip to the Elite Eight on the line. This isn't the first time the Beavers have made it this far in the tournament, making their second straight Sweet 16 appearance.
What an awesome opportunity that this team has created once again for themselves.
The 31-4 Beavers beat Long Beach State and Creighton to get to this point. Last year, the team made it to the Final Four, but fell short to UConn.
I think kind of now that we've had that standard of getting to the NCAA tournament, we kind of almost expect it. So, our standard is pretty high.
With key players back leading their team, taking home the title isn't out of reach.
In this tournament, when you have a good sense of your identity and you have great team chemistry, that usually can take you very far.
Oregon State is the closest team here to Stockton Arena, but they say no matter where they play, their fans will always follow. And tomorrow they say this arena will be packed with Beaver fans.
Just knowing that there's people out there that are there for you solely and they just want to be there to support you. You're playing for more than just yourself or your team. You're playing for a community, and they've always been there for us, so it's super exciting just to see them travel with us as well.
The Beavers say facing a team like Florida State poses a lot of challenges, but heading into today's practice, they say they're confident in their strategy.
And you stick to the game plan, you focus on what you can control. and you can't predict if you're going to win or lose. You just make sure that you do whatever you can while you're out there and you have the opportunity and you make the most of your time.
Any game can be your last, and you never get a chance to do it again. So you put your heart and soul into it, bottom line.
While the Beavers are favored to win tomorrow's game, the Seminoles say they know what they're up against.
Oregon State's a great team, and we've been practicing countless for them, and I feel like they're going to come out there and play their game, and we're going to come play our game, and it's just going to be a great game tomorrow.
Tip-off tomorrow will be at 3 o'clock. It will follow the South Carolina versus Quinnipiac game. Reporting from Stockton Arena, I'm Mackenzie Nelson, KEZI 9 Sports.